As part of this week's Glanbia Ireland Dairy Focus Vodcast, we'll hear the latest update from the Animal Health Ireland video series. We'll also hear from Thomas Ryan, our Sustainability Manager, and TJ Phelan, ASSAP Advisor, on the benefits of the ASSAP programme, what to expect and why to get involved. Firstly, we'll hear the latest in the Animal Health Ireland video series.
Good post-milking teat disinfection is one of the best ways to prevent mastitis by killing bacteria and keeping teat skin in good condition. When using a concentrate product, it is important to measure out correct quantities of teat disinfectant and water and be sure to mix it up thoroughly. Do not use unregistered product as it may cause residues in your milk. Check IMB or DAFM websites for complete list of registered products. It is important to regularly check the nozzles to be sure they are working correctly and have no blockages. When administering teat disinfectant, don't take shortcuts. To get better coverage, spray the teats clockwise and anti-clockwise, or spray from two directions, between the back legs and from the side. Use paper to highlight the difference between good coverage, as shown here, and bad coverage. When using a dipping cup, you should achieve full teat coverage on all teats. Most importantly, using too little disinfectant is ineffective. Get your calculator out and check you are using enough. For spraying, allow at least 15 mils per cow per milking. So for 100 cows, if you are teat disinfecting well, you will be using at least 1.5 litres per milking. That's 3 litres per day.
Now we'll hear from Thomas Ryan and TJ Phelan of the Sustainability Team on the ASSAP programme.
Hello everybody, it's Thomas Ryan here, and this week we're looking at the ASSAP initiative and how we in Glanbia Ireland are working with you to support you in improving water quality. Within Glanbia Ireland we have two dedicated ASSAP advisors, and one of them is TJ Phelan. And so we catch up with TJ to find out how his work and how he's supporting you to achieve good water quality. So TJ, can you tell us what's your role as one of Glanbia Ireland's ASSAP advisors?
As one of two Glanbia Ireland ASSAP advisors, my role is busy but very rewarding. We work with our suppliers in the areas that have been identified for action, looking at measures that can be adopted on farm to address local water quality issues. Every area and indeed every farm is different, so we tailor our advice to what will work best for that farm. We work very closely with our Tagish and LawPro colleagues to provide the most up-to-date and relevant information to our farmers. There is a strong trust amongst our suppliers, and anything that we discuss during the farm visits is confidential. As part of my role, there is also various farmer and community meetings to help inform everybody of the work that has been carried out in the local areas.
Great. Now, when you're out on farms, maybe can you give us a sense of the type of advice, type of direction that you're giving to farmers and the guidance you're giving them to support good water quality?
Generally, we look at the landscape of the farm and walk the fields to identify any areas on the farm where there could be potential for nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus to escape to any rivers and streams. We will discuss nutrient management on the farm and soil fertility, and we will also discuss farmyard management practices, all with the goal of improving water quality in that catchment. We try to agree actions with the farmer that they can implement, many of which are practical and as low cost as possible.
And how is that advice being received? Are farmers happy to get this advice, and are they taking it on board in terms of their farm management practices?
So overall, there is a very positive and engaging attitude to the service from all farmers involved. The idea that we are working together to improve water quality is something that farmers appreciate, and they too want to protect the environment as well as providing a sustainable future going forward. The collaboration between all the industry is welcomed, and I feel farmers are confident in the programme and can trust the advice that they are being given, and that it is based on information provided by the catchment scientists for the selected area.
Within Glanbia Ireland, we've got a wide catchment that you as farmers supply us from Wexford up to Louth, across into the Midlands and Munster. So maybe TJ, can you give us a sense of where you're working right now? What part of the country you're working in with farmers in order to support good water quality?
So currently I am working in one of the areas of action known as Nuena PAA, which is situated in County Kilkenny. It's quite a large area, and from here the river Nuena ultimately ends up flowing into the River Nore.
Okay. And finally, bring it back to the farm. So TJ, if you're out with me on my farm, what are the top 3 things? What are the top 3 tips you'd give me to support good water quality?
So the 3 top tips that I recommend when looking at supporting water quality is firstly the 4 R's. So that is the right product in the right place at the right time and the right rate. So it's really about being aware of your soil's fertility status, matching this to the correct product to support the crop growth, and ensuring that when applied the conditions are favourable and maximum efficiency can be achieved. Number 2 is fencing of all watercourses and drains. This will allow for an extra layer of protection to the stream or river, and it's important that vegetation is allowed to grow along the banks of these streams to intercept any potential losses. It's also important to remember to maintain your buffer zones when spreading slurry or chemical fertiliser. And for example, chemical fertiliser should not be spread within 2 metres of any watercourse. And lastly, number 3, always be mindful of water quality and any potential impacts that you may have when carrying out certain practices. There may not be a river or a stream on farm, but ultimately there is some pathway, be it a ditch or a drain or through leaching to groundwater.
That's great. I found this a very good overview, whistle-stop tour of the ASSAP programme, and I hope you have as well. And I hope in the weeks and months ahead, when a Glanbia Ireland ASSAP advisor calls into your yard and knocks on the door, that you'll see the value in the advice and the guidance they're giving you to support us all work towards good water quality for ourselves and for our families and the wider community. Thank you.
For more information on any topics covered in this week's Glanbia Ireland Dairy Focus Vodcast, log on to glanbiaconnect.com or contact your local Glanbia Ireland representative.